trying it. So we're just getting started trying this out on this field over here. My brother, I had to go after the cart here. My brother's taking the first stab to see how it looks, and so here we go. So if you see along the bottoms, they're a little green yet, so we will have a few green pods in there, which means the bean's basically immature, but most of them should be dry enough. So that's what we gotta determine now, is to see whether or not most of them should be dry enough, whether to haul into town or not. I'm gonna hop in with brother. We'll try to get this thing dialed in, figured out again. Every year it's kind of a learning process a little bit, so we'll go from there. So yeah, they're drier up here, and down that way they're a little wetter though. The bottoms still have the green leaves and so we're still getting a few green pods. So what we're doing now is we picked about a grain tank full of the combine. We actually sent a load in, or not a load, a full load, but just basically 400 bushel in on a truck, just to see where it's at the elevator, because that's ultimately what you get paid on. We do have moisture checkers and stuff like that in our combine stuff, but we really don't know how accurate those are yet. That's what we go to the elevator for, is to see what they are, what it's actually going to be. So we're doing that, waiting to see how he comes back. If it's too wet, or if we are close enough, we might keep going. So that's all we're waiting on right now anyway. So how we keep track of a lot of production on our farm, meaning production, when I talk about production, that means how many bushels you've hauled off of this commodity on this field. Sorry, a phone call came in. But anyway, no, you keep track of your bushels of either corn or soybeans that you've hauled off each individual field, and you do that one, just to know where you're at and what it yielded. Second, you keep track of that for insurance purposes, to let them know if you have a loss or anything like that. And also it keeps track of your APH throughout the years, and that also coincides with your insurance. But what this does is, this is Agromatics Libre cart. It utilizes iPad. How it does is, on the grain cart, that white box back there is basically sends out a Bluetooth signal, and it reads it to the iPad here, and that will keep track of your weight, and it automatically, this is one of the nicest features, is that the keyword automatically detects when you unload and unload each load. Because in the past we used to have scales that you had to manually push stop and start, which was fine. It's just if you ever forgot, or you didn't know when somebody else, we use a lot of help to run the grain carts and stuff, so sometimes you might not know if they forgot to mark a load or whatnot. And then it used to have printers over here that, you know, that's basically what you drug back, and then you still entered that into a computer. So this eliminates all that way. All this information is stored then to the cloud. That's an optional feature on Agromatics, is having it stored. That's actually costs a little bit extra. If you don't utilize that, it stores it all on the iPad automatically, which either way works well. It's just, I like that little bit of convenience, that, and knowing that it's all stored to the cloud. Plus I can go on my phone or a computer and look it up, and it doesn't have to be just this iPad that I find that out on. So no, that helps out a lot. You just go through here and you got all your different fields and stuff, but yeah, just not having to run wires, an extra set of wires to the cart and stuff, that's nice as well. I think they actually came out with a way to actually do a moisture check per load. You can put a moisture checker in your cart, but I think that was extra a couple grand, so we didn't get that this year anyway. And that's what we use. You'll see that more throughout the year. Also, another nice thing about this is, not only does that this iPad read off the Bluetooth is I can look it up on my phone to see what this cart's weighing. So like the combine operator over there, he can look up to see how full the cart's getting, and also with that stuff too. So nope, it's worked well. We've probably had it for actually now it's been almost 4 or 5 years that we've had it. So really like it so far. It's been working pretty good. One of the curses of being a gravity irrigated farm is along the ends. We don't plant end rows along the pipe where we lay, where we lay the pipe out, excuse me. So when you pick, we usually have to pick off and deadhead it across the rows, and that takes a little time because it's ridged. So your combine's kind of got to heave over them and stuff. So it's just kind of one of the setbacks as far as being a gravity irrigated farm. So this is kind of what it looks like. There's a little green on the bottom of these. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, by the way, the truck, we just found out that it was like 14%. So that's close enough for us to being able to go. Some guys might hold off a wait, but it's better to have them a little wet than too dry, because when they start getting down to that, you know, below 11%, you start kind of losing the size and bushels an acre on that. So we like to always be a little wet than a little dry anyway, at least on beans. I don't know if I mentioned this too, but this is about the only bean field that we'll have ready for right now. The other bean fields look like they're a few days out yet, maybe more on them. For some reason, this field was just more ready than the others. And so once we knock this out, we might have some wet corn that we go to tomorrow or the next day. So we'll see how that goes, but right now we're just going to focus on maybe getting this one out. Just depends on if the moisture goes up or down or whatnot, so we still got to monitor that. Well, we got the bean field done. Sorry I didn't get any video of it yesterday because we ended up having some issues with the one combine, the S770. We could smell something after a round or two. We could smell something hot. Well, we couldn't figure out quite what it was. Well, it turns out the place that cleaned it off, they didn't have the shields put in correctly along the rotor. It kind of blew crap all over the side of the combine. And so when we were back there, we noticed that gearbox on the back of the rotor it seemed like it was running hot, and that's where we can kind of source a lot of that smell from. So we had the technician come out and look at it, and he thinks that's what might be, but so we went back, and they might have to replace that out. Hopefully they get that all fixed and ready to go. But we ended up finishing yesterday with the one I run yesterday. I would have took some film, but I left my cameras on the grain cart tractor, and I was just more focused on getting stuff started. And yeah, it's still not my first instinct to grab cameras, especially when you're kind of first day harvest jitters, especially when you're working all the kinks out. You're in and out a lot, and so yeah, especially I'm guessing my brothers and dad wouldn't be too excited of me just standing around talking to myself, explaining everything. So nope, we did get this field done, but now this is it for our beans for now. So we're gonna try to move on to some corn. Local elevators offering a drying discount. So if you have corn under 28%, they'll give you a discount drying rate and stuff. So we might take advantage of some of that. And then also later on, we still got to haul to a feedlot for some wet corn as well. Wet corn, I'll explain later, but it's basically corn that they can take from probably 25 on up to 32 or whatever. What they'll do is you dump that into an auger, they put it into a roller mill and grind it up, and then they pack it for cattle feed. And so that's what, when I refer to wet corn, that's usually what wet corn is used for. Right now I got to get this head off, switch the combine over, get it ready for corn, and we'll go from there, and let's roll. Single point hookup on a deer. What you do is just release it, and that takes care of all your hydraulics and all your electronical stuff. Electronical, yeah, I think that's a word. Then you basically unhook your BTO shaft. I said basically, yeah. Love doing this with one hand. And that's how you unhook a bean head from a combine. Because this lever is also unlocks your mechanism down here that locks the head in place. So everything's free now, it's just resting on the head, which is fine to still move it around because the weight of the head is holding on a bunch of clamp, or there's kind of a grip up there, so there's no fear of it falling off unless if you hit like the hugest bump in the world. So we got rolling on some wet corn here. Well, I wouldn't say it's super wet. On my monitor, it's showing about 22.1. I'm not sure if the yield's accurate yet, so don't take it to the bank. But this does have active yield, and sometimes on wetter corn it's not as accurate maybe, but we'll see. But another thing here is right next to me is a different number. Had some leftover corn, so on here you can kind of see a different hybrid. Yellow is a different hybrid, green's a different hybrid. So that's kind of nice. You can actually look to see where your hybrids are at as you're going through the field to kind of make a mental analysis on what's doing what. We're looking at the differences in varieties here. One of them is significantly more moisture. But all fairness, one's 113 day and one's like 103 days, so you got a 10-day difference there. So that's about in line. The 113 day is doing 28 to 29%, where the 113 day is running about 21 to 23, kind of in that range. So we haven't checked, we haven't got a actual moisture check back from the elevator, but it shouldn't be too long. In case if you're wondering which region I'm from, this is unsweet tea, like a real American. As I'm dumping on the grain cart, I might have mentioned, I think I talked to you yesterday, I guess I'll find out when I go to edit this video, but I can see how much that cart's weighing right now. So instead of asking him, you know, do you weigh enough or whatever, I can just kind of look at it and say, yep, he's got enough, he's good to go. So that's kind of what that Agromatics Libra cart kind of adds. I know there's other ones that should do the same, but yeah, it kind of helps. Well guys, that's it for the first video of Harvest 2019. Hopefully I don't have any chocolate in my mouth. My wife made scotcheroos, and so I appreciate that. So, nope, we're just getting started. It usually takes us, 6 to 8 weeks to harvest, just depending on the conditions and stuff. So there'll be plenty more videos to go. Just thought I'd kind of get started anyway. And yeah, first year harvesting on YouTube as a speaker, not just throwing out harvest videos. So thanks guys, it means a lot if you liked it, and please subscribe if you want to subscribe. So we'll catch you next time.